Think back for a second. When you were a teenager, how did you say something was cool? Depending on when and where you grew up, you had different slang for something being cool. The bee's knees, hip, neato, the cat's meow. I remember as a child of the 90s, fat, spelt with a PH, and Bill and Ted always used excellent. Anybody else have one that they thought of? What's that? Nice. Groovy. Others? Rad. Canterspall is always rad. So, well, Caleb, maybe you and your cousins and your siblings can help us out. Because according to the most reliable of sources, www.slang.net, some of the best ways to say cool in 2022 were bussin', as in Canterspall's guitar playing is bussin'. Drip, Caleb, am I right about this one? Drip, as in Rabbi Heath's style is dripping today. And this is one surprised me. And Gucci, as when Rabbi Weissman told me earlier that everything's Gucci. Did you say that? I don't know what that means either. So, one word that seems to have crossed generations and remains available in modern usage is the word awesome. My kids use it, my parents use it, I use it, and sure, it might be a little bit too prolific. Was Taco Bell really awesome? Pete Alonso is certainly awesome. But no doubt we can agree that awesome is a word that should remain in our vocabulary. The tunnel view of Half Dome and Yosemite Valley is awesome. Standing before the open ark during Nila on Yom Kippur afternoon is awesome. Caring for an aging parent or a loved one is an awesome responsibility. I like Cesar Chavez here. It is possible to become discouraged about the injustice we see everywhere. But God did not promise us that the world would be humane and just. God gives us the gift of life and allows us to choose the way we will use our limited time on earth. It is an awesome opportunity. In Hebrew, we have the word yirah. It's a common word and appears in many places in our Bible. Yirah is a tricky word to define. It's a mixture of fear and awe rolled into one. It's not a spooky type of fear or a groovy type of awesome. Rather, it's connected to the idea of trembling and reverence. Take Jacob in the book of Genesis. After waking up from his dream of a ladder reaching to heaven, he says, Ma norah, the word yirah there, hamakom hazeh. How awesome is this place? This is none other than the house of God, and that is the gateway to heaven. The book of Jonah describes another yirah moment. Jonah, running away from God, is asleep in the bottom of the boat when a great storm blows in. The text tells us, then all of the sailors had yirah, fear for the eternal exceedingly. Maybe you can relate. Have you ever woken up after a powerful dream and felt shook by a memory or a vision? Or have you ever been engulfed by a great storm where you fear the tumultuous forces of nature all around you, and at the same time you feel awe for the astounding power of nature and its source? Alan Moranis, the leader, or one of the leaders of the modern Musar movement, explains, to get a real understanding of what yirah means, imagine yourself in the following situations. You stand on the rim of the Grand Canyon, looking down into a vast, deep, magnificent chasm. At one and the same time, you may feel dread at the sheer drop into the yawning abyss, astonishment at the beauty of the immense gorge, and perhaps a sense of the divine majesty in our world. Or you gaze upon the night sky and behold the millions of glimmering stars that reach billions of light years into the past. You feel terrified by your smallness and vulnerability in this expanse, and simultaneously awed at the immensity of space, and perhaps a sense of reverence for the mysterious source of this unfathomable universe. I read an article last week, maybe you saw it, about the importance of cultivating moments of awe in our own life. It's based on a new book by the University of California psychologist Dr. Keltner called Awe, the New Science of Everyday Wonder and How It Can Transform Your Life. The premise of the article is that we don't need big moments, the Grand Canyon, the birth of a child, a panic-invoking ordeal, to have true moments of awe. Rather, awe-filled moments can be part of our daily lives. Sometimes awe is as simple as just looking around. Witnessing the goodness of others can be moments of awe. Observing the workings of the world, a bird returning to her nest, a wave crashing on the shore, can be moments of awe. Even watching inspiring videos, according to the article, or speeches, Martin Luther King Jr., Mahatma Gandhi, can produce feelings of awe. As Dr. Keltner writes, I was like, oh, I can just take a breath and look around. It doesn't require privilege or wealth. Awe is just around us. And furthermore, awe is critical to our well-being, just like joy, contentment, and love. The research suggests it has tremendous health benefits, including calming down our nervous system and triggering the release of oxytocins, the love hormone that promotes trust and bonding. The idea of cultivating awe is something that Judaism does well. Awe both large and small. Baking a challah, lighting the Shabbat candles, rising for Kaddish, volunteering at the food pantry, silence during the Amidah, a prayer for healing, old friends walking into a synagogue, the study of Torah, the bedtime Shema, celebrating with a bar mitzvah or a wedding couple, a trip to Israel. Awe is something that we need to continue to work at. It's a discipline, like yoga or guitar, but a few simple steps can set us on a path towards awesomeness. The article lays out a few, and I've adapted them just a little bit. 1, paying attention and moving slowly. A slow walk to the mailbox to see what you observe. An extra look out your window before retiring for the evening. A small child jumping in a puddle. 2, choosing the unfamiliar path. Dr. Keltner observes that awe often comes from novelty. So gravitating toward the unexpected can set us up for experiencing awe. Some people do this more than others, a personality trait that experts have called an openness to experience. We can work on developing this openness through everyday choices. Take a different route to work. Check out some music you aren't familiar with. Try a new class at Beth Am or anywhere else. Maybe immerse yourself in a different Jewish ritual, wearing a talit or saying Shema before bed. And finally, acknowledge the remarkable actions of others. To watch others participate in holy work is to often acknowledge the action of the divine. Observe who is driving people to Shabbat services or dropping off meals for families with new babies. Or even observe the grocery clerk, so committed to her job, or the mailman who never misses a day. According to the author Sharon Salzberg, If we notice those around us who are dedicated to goodness or having a better family life than the one they were raised in, or to being good to their neighbors, she said, we can strengthen our sense of awe. So as we're still in this season of resolutions, can this secular year be committed to improving our sense of awe? Those moments, big and small, can help create a more caring and trusting community, and will in turn better ourselves. Beth Am, what an awesome community. Shabbat, what an awesome day. Oh, what an awesome world. Shabbat Shalom, Happy New Year.